Welcome back to our events where heart led visionary leaders create legacy of impact and income through the channel of entrepreneurship and do more good in the world. You will get access to all our amazing speakers today and walk away with great wisdom and inspiration so that you can level up yourself and your business to the next level. All right, Legacy Builders, welcome back to another amazing event here at the Life School last week of December. Are you ready to level up, or are you not even thinking about that? Procrastinating until the new year, and either way, it's all good because I think it's important to rest and really cherish time with ourselves and family. So thank you again for joining us with another amazing event where we proudly always line up amazing speakers that really speak from their heart. I always say from their gut and heart, because those are the best messages that come out there, and obviously in the hopes of serving you and giving you the education and inspiration that I know you strive as life students, right? You're always learning and growing, and you're always connecting with others and nurturing relationships. This is actually one of our values here. So again, welcome everybody here at the Life School. We help purpose-driven entrepreneurs, or purpose-driven leaders, I should say, to build a legacy company that does good in the world through the operations of branding, marketing, sales systems, and team. Again, so they can create an impact and align their purpose with profits. Our vision is to empower purpose-driven business leaders to use their life's purpose through legacy entrepreneurship. And then lastly, our mission and values are: our mission is to become the most impactful global community in purposeful entrepreneurship. And then our values are community connection, service, and contribution. We all are people that love the work we do. We're passionate about it. And it's really our life's mission, our vocation. And through the work that we all do, we want to help others and, of course, do so much more good in the world through doing that. So without further ado, I would love to invite all our amazing speakers today that are joining us and thank them for their time beforehand. And thank you again for your time and expertise that you share with us today. And looking forward to getting to know you and connecting you to one another. I think that's a really important piece of any of these events. So without further ado, I would love to welcome our first guest speaker, Roger Peters, all the way from, you said, Australia, Roger?
Alaska.
Alaska. What time is it by you now?
It's a little after 8 in the morning.
All right. Well, good morning. Thank you so
Good.
much for joining us.
Best way to start the day besides a cup of coffee. So, hi, I'm Roger Peters, or Rook. I own Epic Sages, which is a TTRPG hosting site. So TTRPG is shorthand for tabletop role-playing games. So it's stuff like Dungeons and Dragons, Pathfinder, Starfinder, all those games where you sit down at a table and roll dice. Well, we teach people how to play those games. We teach businesses how to incorporate them into their business for a variety of reasons. And we do a lot of just fun stuff, right? Our company is in our second year now, and we've been doing these podcast things for the last year as well. So my focus today is about employee retention. So you might think, well, what do sitting down and rolling silly dice at a table have to do with employee retention? And the biggest thing is attitude. So when we talk to business owners the first time, a lot about how this will impact how they do things, how their in sales improve, how their employees get retained by playing games together with them. There's 4 billion questions like, how is this supposed to work? Why isn't a pizza party better? All this other stuff. And then the first step is always like figuring out that you care about your employees, right? In some of our discussions on how to build our systems and games and things like that, specifically tailored for whatever the company needs, it's really about getting what the employees want out of the company to feel like they are an important member of their group, right? Could be a small 3-man company, could be a 200-man company, and it's some kind of competition where they get to play with the CEO or something silly, right? But it's all about getting people to feel important at whatever role they're at, right? And role-playing games, in being in the name that they have there, kind of fit that off the bat, right? You're already feeling a role. And not everyone gets to be a hero all the time. Sometimes you get to be a supporting character, and that is relayed through playing, right? So people learn how to take turns, give other people support, build cohesion from, whoever you are, wherever you work. You get to learn together, right? You also build a compassionate network of friends, right? Especially for groups that, like, if you have a lot of people in your company and you throw random people together for one of our events, they're going to be friends in marketing and finance and all that fun stuff that, hey, we got to play together, or we play together on the regular, or, you know what I mean? It just builds a tighter knit community that first and foremost increases retention, right? From a business standpoint.
Yeah.
And then on the other side of things, it's just a lot of fun. You know, we get to play games, we get to tell stories, and that's good for everyone on a emotional and health level.
Yeah, Roger, I love that. And team building more, which strengthens our emotional connection to one another, and we get to collaborate in healthier, more harmonious ways, I guess, whether it's your culture, your team, or even, with other relationships around us personally as well. How did you actually get started with this work? How did you know that this was something that you wanted to focus on and offer other people?
So me and a few other army buddies decided that, we'd done this in the military where we were playing, and this is something we did for fun quite a bit. But we saw it had a really impactful way of getting through people's defensive walls and to help them get through the traumas that they've experienced in a fun way, right? It was never anything overtly like we're pushing therapy or anything like that. It's just having fun, and sometimes those traumas or things come out, and we just felt that it was a fantastic way to get people to have fun while working through those things, whether they're realizing they're working through them or not. And it was just something fun for us to do. We started out with 4 business partners, and we're down to 2, and we've been 2 for quite some time. So me and my business partner have been working our butts off since we were, a year old at this point, basically. And that's really our reason. That's how we started. That was the idea behind it. Besides us just wanting to start a business and see how it went.
Wow, there's a hidden benefit to that therapy. That's very cool. I could see that. What are some of the themes of the games?
So that's the best part. It's whatever you want them to be as a paying client. So if you want us to talk about something specifically or avoid something, we really tailor make whatever we're doing for you to your best situation. It's quite a bit of time investment for a lot of people, but we make it to where it is malleable, especially for businesses. So it, ranges from an hour to 8 hours. Our general gold standard is a 4-hour session kind of thing. So like we make it as malleable as necessary for whoever's using it. So again, big companies, little companies, we are very flexible. As I said before the podcast, we are experts at improv. So coming up with stuff and finding the thing that fits you best is our specialty.
I love the customized approach. I could already think of like themes or topics that you could probably work with. And yeah, I love what you have built. And thank you so much, Roger, for sharing that with us. And I'll come back to you for more information at the end as well. And again, thanks so much for coming, and thank you for sharing what you just did. Moving on to our next the amazing speakers that are joining us today, Xaya, Faith, and Devon. I apologize in advance if I'm butchering your names. Where are you actually connecting from? Where are you based?
Hey, we're connecting from London. So, but Zay's actually from the USA. So she's originally from South Carolina, and I'm from London. And we just here for the holidays. Well, she's here for the holidays. I actually live here. So,
Cool. Thank you so much for joining us. And I would like to hear whoever would like to share a few of the most meaningful moments related to the work you're doing today that you will share with us.
Yeah, so hello everyone. I am Zay Faith, and this is Devin Edwards, and we are accountability consultants. So what we do is we have been working with entrepreneurs. We are evolving to work more with organizational executives. And what we do is we support companies to follow through on their commitments. A little bit about our story. We're entrepreneurs, so we know the struggle of, doing all the things, right? And so I'm a planner, I'm an organizer. And, after, being an entrepreneur, connecting and networking, I noticed, it's not new information that we need. And so, we've been talking and working, and we built our company to support business owners to be more productive, more efficient, and more effective. I'm not gonna lie, I like it better with everybody's faces because it's kind of weird, but just us.
Lonely, right?
Yeah.
We're here.
I'm like, yeah, yeah. But just really working with people to get their commitments done, and so in our company, in our network, we meet with people and we just really work with them to get the things that they need to do, help them organize their to do list and everything, and we work with them to actually complete tasks and get things done.
I love the work you're doing because it's so needed, especially for entrepreneurs and CEOs, because commitments, that we make in our company are things that obviously are going to drive our vision and mission forward. So, yeah, but it goes to show you, even just your comment, right? We are so wired for connection. Back to what we were saying with Roger and what he has built. So I think that's such an important piece of our culture as well. But I would love to ask you around your specific framework. What are some things that you could share with us that will help people listening become better at their commitments, become better at executing some of their commitments that they have set for themselves, whether it's their personal lives or it could be their company growth as well?
Yeah, so an interesting thing is we come across people always ask, "Oh, what is actually accountability?" Because everyone knows what it is, but do you really know what it is? Do you really know how it actually acts as a process? And for us, we realized that accountability is the managing and directing of discipline to create habits that are actually gonna serve you based on what matters most, based on your number one priorities, based on your number one goals, your number one outcomes. And so often we see a lack of discipline across entrepreneurship. It's like it happens, especially as a beginner. So you can either be disciplined for mediocrity or disciplined for excellence, but you're still disciplined, right? But it's like now we have to manage. We get to manage our mind around it. We get to manage how our energy is around it as well. So without accountability, you can literally slip into those behaviors, those patterns that weren't serving you, and it's gonna deplete your mental, your physical energy over time. And what happens when you deplete your energy physically and mentally over time? You're not going to be productive. You're not going to be efficient, and then as a result, that's going to bleed into your organization, where there's a decrease in profitability. Because ultimately, entrepreneurs, the number one of the number one goals, profit. You want to make a profit within your business. You want to generate revenue within your business, and so it's really the things that we get to identify like immediately before we do anything, and that is what we are prioritizing. So we walk people through a task prioritization method where we establish a think dump list. So you write down all your outcomes, all your goals, all your priorities on a list. Just throw it out on paper, right? And then you want to identify what those core tasks and priorities are, and then following on from there, you get to establish the clear habits that you're going to take, those action steps that you're going to take to make sure that these things are a priority. Because whenever something is a priority, your energy is different. Whenever things are a priority, you're gonna move with excitement, just like Roger moves with excitement because his priority is having fun and gaming, and bringing that to his clients, bringing that experience to his clients. So every business owner wants to have that experience because everyone has a vision. Everyone has a vision for their business. Everyone has a vision for their life. But if you're not experiencing that, if you're not doing anything that's impactful and worthwhile, then we're just gonna wane. And we don't want that for the entrepreneurship world because we've been through that, and that's why we're stepping into accountability because it gets the stop.
Yeah. I love what you shared, especially the way you define accountability and how you connected it to discipline. And yes, it's so true sometimes at the beginning because people lack, I call it purpose, but I love that you connected it to commitment. And it's the same thing, right? Because you understand why you're doing something, it's very important to you. You already clarified it beforehand. And you're very intentional with the actions that you take. And when you have that clarity and you understand why you're doing something, and usually it's in contribution to others. So for CEOs, usually it gets a little bit easier when you have people under you, I find, because we hold each other accountable. Then you're responsible for for the people on your team. So I think that gets a little bit easy over time. But it's those habits that we get to build in the discipline aspect, and we're willing to grow through. I have found some growing pains as entrepreneurs that are always looking to expand and grow our impact in the world. And create profit as well. Like you mentioned, that is a number one priority, and it should be, because that is how we get to sustain our success and the impact that we get to make. So it's always connected. But when you go back to challenges, it's so much easier to overcome them if you have that big clarity on your commitment. So I love that you do the work that you do together. Do you privately consult entrepreneurs? What's the framework around how they actually get to work with you?
We've done both. We've done private clients and also group clients.
Okay, great. So private and also group, great. Well, thank you again. Thank you so much for sharing your passion, energy with us, and also the amazing work you're doing. I'll definitely come back for you at the end as well, with maybe some lessons around entrepreneurship. I know this is a lonely journey at times, and there's always so many lessons that we learn along the way, so that we become those people that are going to be, geared towards our purpose, and we become those people in the journey that are always looking to grow and expand. So I'm looking forward to that as well. And without further ado, love to introduce you my next speaker here today, Kristen Hope. Kristen, we have reconnected before. Nice to see you again, and
nice to see you too.
Introducing you to the audience and also to the other amazing speakers here. So if you could share a few of the most meaningful moments in your journey that led you to the work you're doing today.
Yes. Sounds good. So my name is Kristen Hope, and I am also known as your financial fairy godmother. I loved hearing, Roger, what you do, because I really love inner child work and being connected to my inner child, and you can't do that in any better way than playing. So I love that you're bringing that into corporate spaces. And my journey to get to where I am has been an interesting one. I have loved money, which I know can be a taboo thing to say sometimes, but I have loved money since I was a little kid. My parents talked to me about it when I was really young and told me when I was, I think, 8 years old, that I was going to go to college one day. It was going to be very expensive and I was going to have to pay for half of it. They would cover half, but I needed to pay for half. And I naturally, as a kid, kids are very open to infinite possibilities. So I didn't have thoughts of, oh, this is going to be really hard. In my head, college was like more than my entire lifetime away. It was like, I have plenty of time, but also I'm going to start now. How can I make more money? And I ended up having a neighbor reach out to me to start dog sitting. We didn't even have a dog. So the first time I took care of a dog, I was getting paid to do it. And then they told their next door neighbors about me. And those people put their dog in a kennel and just paid me to water their plants. We didn't have any plants either. And all of a sudden I'm getting paid to water plants. And I could look out my bedroom window and see their front steps. So they stopped their mail, but I was in charge of bringing in their packages. And I didn't even have to leave the house to go check, because I could look out my window. And I thought, wow, making money is really easy. But that's not the mindset and the belief system that most people have. So I had that, carrying me through a lot of life. And I helped friends for free for quite a while. And they would always tell me, you should charge for this. You're really good at this. And I finally started to do that. And then as I was working with paying clients, I realized that I was intuitively picking up on limiting beliefs that they had and helping them shift those. And in really an instant, I could help them shift a belief that would change their entire trajectory with money. And shortly after that, I started working with a mentor, getting tapped into my intuitive abilities, my psychic abilities. And now I am more focused on that part of it with the finances, of tapping into my clients' energy fields to see where the leaks are, because money really is just a representation of energy. When we exchange money, we're exchanging energy in a certain form. So I help find those leaks, help close them up, and really help them stay connected to their mission, which I believe at the end of the day, our true mission is to be in our joy as much as we can and create from joy, create from love, and bless the world with that. And as you all know, if you have a big mission that you need to carry out in the world, it does require resources. It requires money. And the more money that you have, the bigger your megaphone can be to reach people farther away. So I am really delighted to be able to serve soul-led entrepreneurs in expanding their reach and expanding their mission by attracting in, by attracting in more money.
Well, I love that, Kristen. Thank you so much for even admitting being vulnerable and authentic with the fact that you just said, I love money, because it's so easy sometimes to hide behind the purpose, and not really admitting that money is a tool and a very strong resource. And money in good hands can do so much more freedom, can create so many amazing opportunities for the world and can create so much impact. So I love the work you do. And personally, I've had to overcome a lot of, I guess, what you called energetic leaks. So that would be my question for you, for people listening. What are some of the most common energetic leaks that you have seen in your clients that you could share with us?
Yes. So it's usually a lot of settling, because you will receive what you allow yourself to receive. And it's beyond just money. So for example, if you are thinking about a client that you would love, 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 love to work with, and things that you really want to be talking about, if you settle for a client who's not ready to have those conversations yet, which there's nothing wrong with those people, they're perfectly lovely people and they deserve to be served and met where they are. But if that's not where your joy is, if that's not where your passion is, if that doesn't light you up, it's actually a disservice to those people for you to be the person stepping in and helping them. And it's a disservice to yourself. And it's a disservice to all the people who are ready to have the conversations that you want to be having. So anywhere that you're settling in your business like that is going to be an energy leak, because instead of showing up in your full light, your full power, excited and ready to serve, you might be showing up with a little bit of resentment or dulled down a little bit, and your clients aren't going to get the best of you, which is absolutely what they deserve. So that is a really big one, which also kind of at the end of the day is really what all of it comes down to, as being a receiving issue. How comfortable are you with receiving? And this again can come down to, if somebody says to you, say, I love your hair is so beautiful. Can you receive that compliment fully? Or do you say, oh no, it's nothing, and brush it off and not allow yourself to actually receive the compliment? So a lot of times those energy leaks are in places that you might not connect directly to money, but again, everything is energy. So it's in all areas of your life.
Yeah, I love those too. And the thing about this is that, which is why, when you mentors like you, is that these are subconscious and hidden, right? A lot of the times we don't even realize that these are the things that are holding us back or blocking us in the way we're moving forward or making decisions. What are some, I guess, subconscious blocks that you've helped your clients sort of put it out on the table and then help them, get a better way to, I guess, what is the process? Do you heal those and then you kind of affirm new ones? Like, tell me a little bit, you're an expert in this field, obviously. So tell me a little bit around the process of bringing those out. What are some of the most common blocks? And then also, what is it that we can do with that once we have that awareness?
Yeah. I would say the biggest one is usually a fear of how other people are going to perceive you. And like all of those people who, like I said, maybe aren't ready for the conversations that you want to have, they're here. You feel like you need to come down and meet them here and meet people where they are. And if you don't do that, you're going to be a bad person, or you're going to be seen as a bad person. And of course, nobody wants to feel like they're a bad person. Nobody wants to have other people think that they're a bad person. So I see a lot of people dimming themselves down and trying to cater to everybody instead of staying where they are and allowing others to rise to meet them. Because at the end of the day, that is what is actually of the highest service to everybody. And there's no way really to allow yourself to be up here without triggering anybody down here. You're always going to end up triggering the people who aren't ready to go where you are ready to go, who aren't ready to receive what you're ready to receive. But then that's where at the end of the day too, everything is a choice. So what are you going to choose? And a lot of times just giving people the other perspective is enough to shift it. And then they go on their merry way of allowing themselves to stay up here. And they'll see that some of the people that were here actually come up to meet them more quickly than they thought. And also you'll have people coming in who were here and you just couldn't see them until you stayed. And now they're zooming into your world. So it's usually a pretty simple fix. And that's the other thing. I think in our world, we're pretty addicted to problems and struggle, things needing to be hard. But when you're doing energy work, it really can be so fast, so simple, so easy, and you just have to trust it. Like I still remember in more the beginning of starting to do higher level work, I had a 1-month package that was $1,500, and it was scary to me to be charging that much, but I knew that the transformation I was providing was absolutely worth that. And I had somebody reach out and apply to work with me, and I could tell from their application that they weren't actually ready for the conversations that we were going to have. And it was a little difficult for me to say, I don't think this is the right fit for you. I offered a different session that I had that could have helped her. And I stayed strong in that one, trusting that it was the right thing to say no to that package, that she truly wouldn't have been ready and it wouldn't have been of service to her. And for me to allow her to pay me that money, she wouldn't have gotten in exchange what she was hoping for because she didn't quite understand the dynamic and the work that we would be doing. And then 2, having to trust that someone else was going to come in, because this was new at that price point. And I know that's scary. I'm sure you've all had to raise your prices at different points, and it can be very scary when you do that at first. But within 24 hours, I had someone else reach out and say, do you still have a spot open? And it got filled by someone who was ready to be working at that level.
Yeah, I think besides the fact that you just explained the very amazing process that you put people through with the awareness, and then how once you understand that, you could intentionally decide to take new steps in order to improve it, but also the fact that undercharging is a major what would we call it? A major symptom for entrepreneurs at every phase and stage and level, especially if you're looking to scale. A lot of times your business model just needs to scale with you. So I could just see how a lot of that stuff will come up in the process as well. Well, Kristen, again, thank you so much also for the amazing work you do, and for the inspired questions and answering them as well.
Thank you.
That absolutely, all 3 of you added absolutely a lot of value for our audience here today. And I would love to go back actually to Roger and ask you, Roger, if you could share with us 3 of the most impactful lessons that you have learned in your journey as an entrepreneur.
Okay, so number 1 is your friends are more valuable than money. Who you know is just as powerful as what you have. Because the connections they can bring, the ideas they can share with you, all that fun stuff is probably of the most importance, especially for entrepreneurs. Your networks that you build will sustain you when other things won't. So having people that you can connect with, that can help you, you can help, so on and so forth, is probably one of the most important and valuable assets that we as entrepreneurs have in our back pocket without necessarily realizing it. 2, don't be afraid to ask people to try something. There's a lot of times where you get that, hey, I can't take no as an answer because it hurts my feelings. And you got to get past that as an entrepreneur. People are going to say no 4,000 times, but that one is going to be worth the time that you spent getting into it for the most part. Sometimes you got to know when to call it quits, but more often than not, asking the question is going to get you a result than not doing anything at all. And then number 3 is the importance of coming to a what's the right way to say this? A comfortable place with where you're at, right? We talked about getting into comfortable habits. Sometimes those are good and they are necessary, right? There needs to be some point where you can relax and recharge into the year kind of thing. You kind of settle into the stop the grind, relax for a little bit, just kind of go in automation mode. But that being said, that doesn't mean stop there. It's rest there and push forward.
Yeah. Powerful lessons. Thank you so much for sharing those. I think we all can relate to all 3 of those for sure. And also, where is it that the audience can continue the conversation with you? Where can they further connect with you?
Sweet.
If you have resources, feel free to share them.
Yeah, so we're on epicsages.com is our www.epicsages.com is our website. And if you want to schedule a game or talk to us directly, cool beans. We're on all the social medias, so you can find us basically wherever under Epic Sages. And then our biggest community that we have and we support is Discord, where we have direct communications with our clients and personnel and other entrepreneurs and all the other fun stuff in our little thing. Is there a place for me to share links in the chat here or no?
So if you want to share links inside a private chat, you could do so. But outside of the summit, I will tag you, and all our speakers will share all these links for you as well, so that you're able to just click through the next steps to connect and further chat and continue the conversation.
Perfect.
Thank you so much, Roger.
Then keep an eye out for that, and I'll throw my digital business card on there. You guys can check out all the fun stuff in one spot.
All right, very cool. Moving on to Xaye and Devon. Same question for you. 3 of the most impactful lessons that you can share from your experience as an entrepreneur.
Well, for me, identifying 3 components when actually starting any task, starting any action, starting any business is like identifying, number 1, motivations. Like what motivates you internally, what motivates you externally. Number 2, the obstacles that actually you might come across or you might face. So you're kind of looking to the future, but you're also looking into the present as well. So you're giving yourself a holistic view of what's the reality, not just like a preconceived belief. Like what's actually happening right now that you can take advantage of or leverage. And then the final one is resources. So identifying the resources. So who do you know, or what do you have currently that you can use to propel yourself forward in a way that is sound to your very being, like based on around your values, based around what's important to you. What resources do you have to make that a reality? Like it's so motivations, obstacles, and resources. Those have been those are things that I believe and know that is been impactful, personally for me and just in general.
Yeah.
For me, I would say trust yourself. Whatever is inside of you, it's inside of you for a reason, and most likely only you will execute it and help the people that you're supposed to help. Only you can do that. So I would say trust yourself. No matter how messy or yucky you feel or unprepared, just trust yourself and go. And number 2, I would say everything always works out. So going with that thing, is so funny, when you look back over your life and your journey, you realize, oh, like that's a skill. I just thought, it was something that happened to me, or I just, it's so easy for me. I didn't even realize like I could use that part of my personality or that thing that comes to me easy within my business, and that's my uniqueness. So trust yourself, and also just use everything that you're made of. There's nothing wrong with you. Everything is going to work out in your favor. And number 3, pay for coaching. Get there fast. Don't figure it out by yourself. Don't work on the parts of your business, or don't continue to work on things like tech. I'm not good at tech. We've hired VAs over and over, and we finally got someone who really works for us. But instead of using my time for figuring out tech, use my time for being in front of you, so you all know who we are and what we have to offer. I'm better at speaking than I am at tech. So those are the things that I would say. Trust yourself. Everything always works out, and everything always unfolds for you the way it's supposed to. It's perfect. And also pay for coaching, pay for accountability, pay for the things that you're not good at.
Yeah, powerful lessons for sure. I love the one that you shared about it's always the who, not how, because we're so used to sometimes doing everything on our own, and that's not how we get ahead. That's not how we grow and expand and investing in ourselves. But I love that you said trust yourself and trust the journey, because I also share that very often. And I think everything that we're attracted to is there not by chance, but on purpose. So pay attention. Pay attention and start connecting those dots, because that's your job and that's your journey. It's unique and individual to you. Where is it that the audience can further connect with both of you?
We're going to give them a free worksheet so you can start prioritizing so you can thrive. It's our Prioritize and Thrive worksheet. And we're going to give you the link so you can give the audience access to it. But if you have any questions at all, please feel free to send us an email at hello@totalfreedomevents.com. hello@totalfreedomevents.com. Feel free to send us the email at any time.
All right, beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that. And last but not least, Kristen.
Yes, you can. Well, and was there a question that I was supposed to answer, or just tell them how to connect with me?
The 3 lessons, if you could.
Oh, 3 lessons. That's right. Oh, man. I feel like I already shared so many of them. What's left? What have I not said?
Beyond your area of expertise as an entrepreneur now, if you could put that hat on, what have some of the most impactful lessons that you've learned?
Well, I would say probably my biggest one is to trust yourself over anyone else. Like, I had signed up for a pretty high level mentor a few years back, and I was paying her $4,000 a month to work with her. And that was by far the biggest investment I had ever made in myself at that point. And I think I started to feel like, okay, I need to do everything she says to do. And I was trusting her intuition over my own intuition. So that was an expensive lesson, but a good one. I'm very grateful for it. And truly, it could have been more expensive than what it was. So I'll say I got a good deal on that one. So trust yourself over anyone else. And then with that too, I've signed up for lots of courses or group programs, and no one out there has the exact formula to your success, because it's all about combining your passions, things that light you up, things that you are very naturally good at, which a lot of times you are not aware of. Things that are holding us back are in our blind spots, but so are often our biggest gifts, because we don't even realize that it's something that we are good at. I think you were saying that it's like, oh, not everybody is like that. Not everyone is good at doing that thing. No, they're not. And so hiring a mentor who can reflect that to you and show you your greatest gifts is huge. And then I think the third one would be, I've really learned that being vulnerable and sharing my messiness and my mistakes, which I no longer even believe are a thing, is actually something that makes my clients more loyal, and it makes people want to work with me more. And even the things that have been the scariest to say have been the things that make people want to keep working with me, or even willing to pay me more money to work with me, because they see that authenticity and they trust me. And of course, if I was standing here telling you I've never made a single mistake with money and I've been completely perfect, you're going to probably be like, I don't really want to work with her. So sharing your mistakes, whether you're sharing it completely publicly with your audience or sharing it in one-on-one or group containers with your clients, is actually a really great way to build relationships and build community with your audience. And I would say with that, share from your scars, not your wounds. If something is still like a big gaping wound for you, probably not the best idea to post that on social media. But once you've gotten through it and you feel recovered, then that's a great time to share it with people so they can benefit from your tough life lessons.
Yeah, absolutely. We can learn from our own, but it's still smart to learn from others for sure. But I love that you mentioned the mentor thing, because I think a good mentor is supposed to help you build your own trust. Obviously, there is a process that they have, which is why you are investing in them, a certain result, which you now might be aware of. But I think at the end of the day, if that's a good mentor, they should really look for all your strengths and ways that they can empower you so that you're able to make those changes and have those sustainable results for sure. So I love that you shared that. And the authenticity piece, I think, is big for sure. That's the only way to be authentic as a brand as well today, right? So powerful stuff. And thank you so much for sharing those, Kristen. And where is it that the audience can connect with you further?
Yes, I really love Instagram personally. I am at It's Kristen Hope on there. It's ITSKRISTINHOPE. So I tell people 2 I's, just like my face. And then you can also reach out to me via email at hello@itskristenhope.co. Just CO. There's no M at the end. So I'll make sure you have some links for people to at the end.
Beautiful. Well, I want to thank all my speakers, and you will find them inside our live school community, whether it's our group, our page, our LinkedIn page, all the ways that you can connect further with them, and they will share your links with you. I want to thank you for your time again today. And with each event, I walk away with not only new connections, but so much inspiration and so much education also, because everybody brings in such a vast experience based on the work that they do. So I want to thank you for joining. And also, I would love to invite you to be also one of our community experts, where those are the values that we go by, and it will help you, of course, connect with more amazing leaders that will move your business forward further, and also you personally. So thank you so much again for joining, and I will see you with another event. Bye, everybody. I would invite you to join us as the community expert at the Life School Global Community. As a community expert, you will be participating in our monthly speaking events that we host for our community. You'll be an ongoing contributor to our global magazine. You will be warmly connected and introduced to other purpose driven CEOs and entrepreneurs. You'll also be connected to amazing speaking opportunities, paid and also free speaking opportunities with other amazing communities. And this way, you'll increase your brand and visibility. You will build trust faster. But most importantly, you'll be part of our community that's always growing in over 30,000 entrepreneurs on our social media channels and also on our large contact list and network, and also with our partnering high level communities of entrepreneurs and business leaders. I would like you to go right underneath the website on this video at Elona Lopari Coaching/events to find out more information on what this offer entails, and also if this is the right fit for you. I'm looking forward to seeing you on the other side as our community member.
Aha, people are still here.